Today, we talk about the word spliff. And for those that have been diligently following all my stand-up posts that I post, and again, that reminded me of another tangent I wanted to go down on, but we'll avoid that because we can always come back to it. The word spliff. I've been talking about this a couple times, a handful of times I've talked about this in my stand-up, but I love this idea of a spliff because to me, the word spliff is a beautiful word. It's a beautiful word, okay? This is going to be its own segment, by the way. So I'm actually going to pause this and restart it because I want to, this will make my life easier as an editor. So I apologize if this seems jarred for y'all, but I don't give a fuck, all right? Because I'm the one doing this ish. You know what I'm saying? BRB. Bye. The word spliff. Scan it. Let's talk about it. All right. So the word spliff. I think it's one of the most beautiful words I've ever heard. It's a fun word. It's a great word, but it's used in a poor context. And I'll tell you what. I remember I was a square. I still am a square, but I was a super square, if you will. And I remember being in medical school and I was at a party and someone offered me a joint. And for those that don't know, a joint is I guess a little cigarette-y thingy, a little rolled up piece of weed, the drug weed. And this was offered to me. And at first, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. They said, joint. Would you like, you want this joint? And I was like, wait, joint? I was just getting done with my orthopedics rotation. I was like, wait, I didn't bring my reflex hammer. Do they want me to like click their knee? And all right, that was a bad setup for a joke. But no, really, like it just bothers me that there's this concept of a rolled up paper of, not tobacco, weed, marijuana, although some people find that word offensive now. So let's call it pot, weed, THC, bud, green grass, herbal-ish. And and you roll it up in this like little paper and then you ignite it on fire and you call that a joint, right? And I don't know the difference between that and a blunt. To me, it seems like it's just a bigger form in a cigar form, but I don't freaking know. I don't know these terms. I don't know them very well. But what I do know is one time I heard someone say the word spliff, and my mind was freaking blown, bro. Because the word spliff is just such a badass word. Yo, you want to smoke a spliff? Yo, spliff is a dope word. It's just a dope word. That word is O-D. In fact, it's O-A-D, all right? And I was shocked to find out that the word spliff refers to a rolled up joint, if you will, of half tobacco, half weed. So it's not full weed, it's half tobacco. And for those of you that are aware these days, tobacco is not really all that good for you, especially the bad tobacco, if you will. And, forget the nicotine part of it, let alone the nicotine part of it, the super addictive, physically addictive, and mentally addictive part of it. The tobacco itself, assuming it's from cigarettes with all these other toxins, not really all that good for you, And so you take this weed thing, which the jury's still out, long-term effects and societal effects en masse as far as weed goes. But we're not here to talk about all that. I just am talking about, in general, when you compare cigarettes to weed, one is clearly more risky than the other. Spoiler alert, the sixth. And it was just such a shame to me that such a badass word was attached to such a potentially dangerous product. And so anytime I started seeing people smoking a joint or referring to a joint or passing me a joint or offering a joint or whatever the term of a joint is, I would say, don't you mean a spliff? And eventually I got the friends of mine that I know that consistently smoke weed, which I don't know how the hell you do that ish. It's impressive to me. But some people like literally can function. Like I watched Joe Rogan's podcast, call back to podcast. And he's like smoking the whole episode. I don't know how you do that, bro. Like I love how some people like do that to perform well at stuff. Like I can't imagine how that's possible when your mind is altered like that. But But in any event, I just got the friends of mine who do that to just start calling it a spliff, like straight up joints. Because joint is a weird word. Joint, joint. Like it's a weird word, you know what I'm saying? But spliff, that's a badass word. That's a badass word, bro. So like, it would be nice if a joint was, actually, bro, joint. What's the other, what do you call them? Homilies? I forget. Fuck English and literature, bro. I don't remember the terms. Like, not synonym, but oh yeah, isn't it a synonym where like one word can also mean dual things? So like, read can mean. It's probably a bad example. Read versus read. No, joint, like a jointing. Joint, like a joint venture, like a joined dual venture versus a joint, like tobacco, or not tobacco, weed. How much more appropriate would it be if a joint was literally a joint venture of tobacco and weed, whereas a spliff was pure weed? Right? Am I right? So like, I feel like that would be such a better use of the term. And I'm usually not a stickler for terms. I ain't no grammar Nazi. It's my little Theo Vaughn coming out. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that dude is so fucking funny on podcasts too. Same thing with his stand-up. His stand-up doesn't like blow me away. But anyway, we're getting off on a tangent. I want to keep this specific to spliffs. Yeah, I just think it's a badass word, and I'm so proud of myself to get my friends to now refer to, well, the friends that smoke, to now refer to joints as spliffs. I feel like that's been a small victory for me. So if I could one day get the entire world, let alone the U.S., to refer to joints as spliffs and vice versa, I think my life on Earth, or my mission on Earth is done. Okay. Is that a good segment for spliffs? Yeah. I think we're good. Let's move on to the next topic.